But as Kimberly O'Neill reports, this had to do with the discovery of some old explosives.
The school day for students at Newport Grammar was cut short after what appeared to be explosives were discovered on school property. Workers were here behind the school clearing brush and trees from this drainage area when they noticed something strange in the ground.
Partially exposed, we had some explosive material. It was in powder form. I could see where a blasting cap had been once upon a time.
Students and staff were evacuated. A bomb squad from Knox County then deactivated the suspicious material.
As a precaution, they put a small piece of ordnance in there and detonated whatever was in there, if there was something. So we, there's no way to tell for sure, but we think there was.
Then when they blew that up, they found another cap over here and they blew it.
Authorities also detonated a second spot nearby containing a blasting cap. Police believe the explosives may have been left over from school construction done decades ago.
We don't think there was any danger at any time. Like I say, it's something that was 40 years old. It's been there all these years, but you can never be too precautions.
Ironically, Newport Grammar's staff had been preparing for just such an incident when the explosives were found.
We were planning tomorrow to do our practice for our disaster plan, but we practiced it today for real.
The principal says students and staff get an A+ for how they handled a real scary situation. Kimberly O'Neill, 6
We're looking into the possibility that they committed several others this week as well. Last night we showed you surveillance video of the bandits at work. 24 hours later, police say those crooks are off the streets. They're far from being celebrities, but according to investigators, Kelvin Hardwick and Ryan Davenport have had a lot of pictures taken of them recently. First, police say they were photographed scoping out a Rossville video store. Hours later, they were filmed holding it up. Today, they had these snapshots taken shortly after their arrests. Even one of them, Kelvin Hardwick, managed to be videotaped by Channel 3.
That's the best tape I've ever seen.
Detectives are crediting this surveillance video, these security cameras, and Channel 3 viewers who called Crime Stoppers for helping identify the suspects. Now, investigators are hoping additional tips will help tie the duo to a string of other armed robberies in Chattanooga, including this week's holdups at a Pizza Hut, a Wendy's, a Burger King, and a Winn-Dixie.
You just kind of lose hope that it's not going to be, they're not going to be caught. And then you hear about all these other robberies that's been going on, and it's similar to what happened to us, and you're thinking, somebody's got to do something about it.
And police eventually did understand that he was being chased. He's in jail tonight. We now go to Canada for scenes of a high-speed chase down roads covered with ice. This video was taken from a helicopter for the Toronto Star. Police say it started when a man who was shoplifting pulled a knife. They say he took off in a stolen pickup. With police in pursuit, the driver eventually slid off the road and off into a snow-covered shoulder and slammed eventually into a police cruiser you see there. As the driver tried to get back on the road, the pickup slid across 6 lanes of highway, crashing into the barrier. The suspect got out. He tried to run away. He didn't get far before police finally had their man. Tonight, word of a botched attempt to break into the Oak Ridge National Laboratory's network system. Officials say a group of computer-savvy teenagers in California tried to work their way in. A cybersecurity system worked and kept them out. But elsewhere, they did manage to break into 26 internet service providers and more than 60,000 individual accounts. More than 300,000 customers of Pacific Bell are being asked to change their passwords. As many as 6 teens may have been involved in those break-ins. Term limits are back in the news as the Knox County Law Director fights to keep his job this time of year.
One day we took in 80 animals, and that's an enormous number for January. That's not surprising in June or July, but in January it's totally astounding.
Come on!
Normally the Humane Society relies on foster families to care for the puppies until they're old enough for adoption. However, right now all the foster families are caring for all the animals they can handle. If you would like to become a foster family and help, call the Humane Society at 573-9675. Ask for Amy or Rhonda.
And find the perfect body.
Jailers took away a man's artificial leg when he reported to the detention facility because they were afraid he could wield it like a weapon. He went to a judge to get his leg back. We'll tell you what the judge decided. And the UT men's basketball team has got to put the Vandy loss behind them and get ready for Ole Miss. We'll tell you what the players have to say. And UT Lady Vol center Michelle Snow struggled in the early going this season, but she has become an inside force for her team. We'll tell you what she has to say about her play in tomorrow's paper.
Maria, thank you. Taylor with a nice finish. Eastridge by 2. Other way, Chris Cowley with a nice baseline move. Ray County up by a bucket. Eastridge, though, moves the ball inside. Zach Galbraith feeds Alex Edison for the easy hoop. That will tie the game at 4. Eagles respond, though. Brent Reed from behind the arc. Ray County leads this thing 7-4 as he squishes home 3. Eastridge on the break. Now Kelly Manuel hits the J from 15. Pioneers are within 1. They must still be playing out there because no one has called in a final score. Well, sooner or later, John
Wesley may have been drag racing yesterday morning at speeds of more than 75 miles per hour when the accident occurred. Members of the Hornets gathered this morning to discuss.
From the Pioneers, it is Kelsey Manuel taking it to the tin for 2, a tight one early. But the Eagles would respond. Brent Reed got the rock, and he'll put it in the sock for 3. This one goes Ray County's way by a dirty dozen, 69-57. Pro Hoops News and the Hornets trying to cope with the news that Bobby Phil's fatal car crash was caused when the Hornets small forward was street racing with teammate David Wesley. The Hornets have sent a counselor to speak with Wesley, who is obviously beyond despondent at this point. Meanwhile, head coach Paul Silas is hoping his team can eventually move forward.
It's two ways. How's it going?